The purpose of this video is to show you how to label the vertex, the axis of symmetry, the y, and the x-intercepts when a quadratic function is written in vertex form, which remember is basically your transformed function like we studied in Unit 1. Notice in this function that I've already written up here, our a is a negative number, which means our graph is going to open down instead of up. And so to find my vertex, I click up here where I change directions. And I see that my vertex is 1, 4. So I put that point in, 1, 4. And then I want to label that point as my vertex. And this time I notice that it is the highest point on my graph, so my vertex is a maximum. I know that my axis of symmetry is the vertical line x equals, and it is the same as the x of my vertex, so it's going to be 1. So I put x equals 1, and sure enough, here is my vertical line that is my axis of symmetry that goes right through my vertex. The next thing I want to find is my y-intercept, so I go to my y-axis and click at the point where the graph crosses the y-axis, and I see that that is the point 0, 3. So I'm going to go over here and put the point 0, 3, and I'm going to label that as my y-intercept. And then my x-axis is right here, and I notice that my red graph crosses the x-axis twice. This one is the point -1, 0. And I'm going to label that my x-intercept. And then I go to my other x-intercept, and I click on that, and I notice it is the point 3, 0. So I enter that over here. And then I label that as my x-intercept. So now I've labeled my vertex. Here's my axis of symmetry. I've labeled my y-intercept, my x-intercepts. My vertex was a maximum because it was the highest point on the graph. And notice from the interval, we're looking at the x-axis. So from -infinity up until the number 1, this graph is rising. And from the number 1 to +infinity, this graph is falling. So if you were to be asked over what interval it is increasing or decreasing, it's increasing over the interval -infinity to 1, and then 1 to +infinity. Notice my axis of symmetry is what divides the increasing side from the decreasing side.